So for those who knows me knows that I'm currently working in a production company as a production assistant. Finally knowing what film sets, TV drama sets, or commercial sets look like. And it was a really great experience. It let me know how much I was lacking, but also recognizing the fact that if I wanted to be a DP, I really need a reel, aka a portfolio. So I came up with the idea of making one spec that per month. That means using my own time and my own money to make a commercial for a specific brand or genre. So by the end of the whole project, I would have about 12 videos to showcase future clients or future employers. So for this month's project, I recruited my friend Yannie, my friend Damian, and my cousin Edis to help me shoot this little video. And both Edis and Damian are athletes, so making a sports-themed commercial seems to be the most sensible thing to do. So that's why Nike was my first choice, and here's the video.
People always talk about the kick that mattered. The split-second decision, the lightning reaction, that golden point. But here's what they don't talk about. They don't talk about the early mornings, the weekend sessions, the endless grinds in search for perfection, the self-doubts, the setback, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the million kicks that truly mattered.
So I hope you liked that one. Personally, I think I could have done a bit better, but still I was really happy with what we've managed to make. So let's do a quick breakdown on this video. But if you're not interested, video's over. You can go now. But for those who stayed, let's start. So the first thing is the gear. For the camera, I was using this Pocket Cinema 4K and paired it with a 16-35, a 24-105, and a 15mm f1.2 just to cover all the focal lengths. And for lighting, oh wait, I also use this like super cool Nucleus Nano follow focus, and just watch. How cool is that? Like, look at that. Yeah, I just fucking love that thing. Lighting wise, I was using an Aperture 300D Mark II and two Yongnuo's 360D to add some accents light and to add a bit more color into the scene, like how I'm using the Aperture MC now and the other light rod like over there. It's the most YouTuber thing you can do, to be honest. Like, I saw it once on a TV drama set, so I was kind of inspired by that. So yeah, it was a good call. For audio, I made use of the Zoom H6, and I also used a bunch of boring accessories that I don't really want to go too in-depth about, including like this foam board. This thing is just so handy. Like, I love this thing. Overall, it was still quite a compact setup considering how small our crew was, and we can just fit everything into this huge trolley and we just drag it around all day. Before shooting, I took about 2 weeks to complete a mood board and a reference board or a shot list and location scout for each of the scenes. So I ended up with 5 locations: the gym, the park, the stadium, and back to the park and a playground. My goal was to take different training montages of Damian doing a different set of exercise in each scenario and just cramp everything together in the final edit and hope it turns out and pray to God, probably. It's obviously a lot more planned than that, but pre-production is like boring, so let's get down to the shooting part. So we started off at the most obvious spot, the gym, and it was the only interior scene that we have, and I have like so much fun lighting that scene. First of all, there's this like floor to ceiling window at the gym and letting in a ton of sunlight, and that pretty much motivated all my lighting setup. Most of the time I was using cove lighting, meaning blasting my key light off a piece of foam and just giving back soft light to emulate the sunlight through the window. At the same time, I made use of the light rods that I have and just add a bit of accent light and a bit more color into the scene to give it a bit more character. Lighting is definitely one of my weaker links as a cinematographer, which I'm not a cinematographer in any sense yet, but it is something that I should work on, and I'm super happy to have this chance to like try out and experiment the hell out of everything. So we spent about like 3 hours there and went away with a bunch of great footage. Next up was the park scene, and it was a nightmare to shoot. FYI, it was a Sunday and it was one of the most popular picnic spots at my district, so needless to say it was packed with people, like completely filled. And having people in your shot just takes away so much production value. I have to find a way to counter it. So what I did was I took a bunch of low angle shots so I don't have anyone in frame, even though for some of the shots that I don't want it to be low angle, I still catch like 1 or 2 people. Anyways, I tried my best, yeah. There are a few specific shots that I really want to try out in this scene, and the first one is this running shot. So what we did is we made use of our gear trolley, and I just sat in there with my camera on the Ronin nest, and Edis was at the back just pulling me backwards as Damian starts to run. But the funny thing is, because like I was too heavy for the cart, that's for sure, and Edis was having a hard time pulling it as well, and the cart just moved like super slowly. And Damian had to like basically trying to walk. He's not running at all. He's just jogging in the slowest pace possible. Really funny to see like the behind the scenes, but in the end I sped up the footage and it looked great. So mission accomplished. The other shot that I really want to try out is this like sweat coming off him in slow motion. And what we did was we have this spray bottle and we just drenched the guy. And Edis just went all out with the spray. But in the end, I didn't actually use any of those shots because I don't think it tied in with the edit well enough. Making videos are about trials and errors, so worth it, yeah. Next up, we wanted to go to the stadium nearby to take some shots from the track and field, but it was closed for a football match, which I should have done my research, but I didn't. But in the end, we went to a nearby football field instead, and we just took footage of him jumping ropes and doing some sparring sessions. Something noteworthy is that I was still using my gimbal at that time, and it was just way too steady and didn't have any kind of motion, so I just went handheld very soon, even though it's like shaky like it's an earthquake, but I think it tied in very well with the rest of the video. And after dinner, we're into the final stretch of the shoot, and it was split in 2 parts. The first part is for the product shot and the hero shot. So I really want to go crazy with the lighting on this one, so I just strapped like 2 light rods on each side of Damian's face and just blasting like colored lights, and I've added like twisting the 300D from side to side to create this like helicopter-ish sweeping lights effect. I think I have about like 15 takes of this infinite roll shot because we were trying it for so many times, and the weight of the camera plus the gimbal is just not very forgiving for my arms. It was like heavy. I hold that for the whole day. It's like 10 kg the whole thing. So yeah, we were having trouble getting that shot, but in the end it was kind of sick, so I'm still happy. I really love the sweeping light effect, so I used it again to showcase the Nike logo and a few more hero shots. And I think one thing that I could have done better is to find a darker backdrop, because the street lights in the background are actually a bit distracting. But overall, it was still a pretty good image. And we're down to the very last part of the shoot, and it was at the park. And I'm gonna say, like, this frame here is what inspired the whole project in my brain. And knowing that I can recreate my vision is quite a thrilling thing, to say the least. When we were back at the park, the people were gone, so we have the whole space to ourselves. We just set up a 300D Mark II at full blast, and I shot into the shadows to create this like silhouette look, and it just looks amazing. And yeah, I was really happy with that part. And for the very last shot, I wanted to exaggerate the impact of him kicking a target. So what we tried to do initially was to use the spray bottle again and just spray water as he lands the kick. In the end, it didn't really work because it looked kind of fake, and the water bottle just keep on getting in frame. So our solution was to make the target as wet as possible before he kicks it, and when he lands the kick in the final shot, we have this super sick footage. So that's pretty much it for the shooting part, and the whole thing was just a lot of fun to shoot. And the editing phase took about 2 weeks, mainly because A, I'm lazy, and B, I was just really busy the last week. Since the scenes were so stylized, I had a ton of fun grading the footage. I used Resolve, and it took about 2 to 3 days, and there are just a lot of details and nuances I wanted to dial in for the look of this video. And with such a high energy video, sound design is often a pleasure to do. And I really think I learned a lot through this experience, and I was really happy that I actually took the action and make this video. I was so proud to put it out, and I just can't wait to make more of these. And if you made it this far, you're pretty much like very interested with what I'm doing already. So if you want to make a video together, just hit me up, contact me, whatever. And here's the final video again with the timeline breakdown. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and bye.
People always talk about the kick that mattered. The split-second decision, the lightning reaction, that golden point. But here's what they don't talk about. They don't talk about the early mornings, the weekend sessions, the endless grinds in search for perfection, the self-doubts, the setback, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the million kicks that truly mattered.